So we're gonna try this video thing. If I'm a bit awkward, please bear with me. I have zero editing software. This is just going to be in post as is. But today I have these two guys who I rescued. So we have a little aloe plant who is in pretty good shape considering the neglect that I believe he suffered. And we have a bromelaid who, as you can see, is doing its little death bloom thing. But if you come down here, you can see we've got a little pup growing. So what I'm going to attempt to do today is cut this guy off so that the plant will no longer use its energy in trying to keep a bloom alive that is clearly not alive. And it will then be able to focus more energy on growing its pup that I can then separate off and have a new plant. As for the aloe plant, basically all I'm going to do is take him out of his pot, to remove as much of the soil as I can, loosen up his roots, give him some fresh soil, and pop him back in. And this is where it gets interesting. Leah, do you want to help Mommy?
I'm watching you.
Well, can you hold the camera on Mommy and the plants?
Well, I'm busy going to play a game.
Well, there you have it. Ask my kid for help. She's busy playing a game. So, I guess I'll just prop. Okay, may not be the best view. Okay, I mean, it'll kind of work. Maybe if we put it. Oh, yeah, that's not gonna work. Oh. There we go. So, I don't know where my scissors are. I'm going to start by cutting this guy off. And you're going to want to cut it down as close to the center of the plant as you can. I'm not sure how far down I'm going to be able to get. I don't want to damage the existing live pieces, but there you go.
Why did you cut it off?
Because it's dead and there's a little baby growing, and we want it to be able to grow a little baby. So now that he's cut off, I am just going to put him in a pot. I'm gonna use this guy. I want to make sure that this one doesn't have drainage. Okay, so if you're stuck using a pot that doesn't have drainage, best bet is a little layer of rocks down in the bottom. Now this guy, when you water him, you don't really water the plant per se, you more water the little cup that's inside. So he kind of, once I get this out of here, I'll be able to show you. He kind of has like a little cup where all of his leaves come together, and you can see down in here where I cut the bloom out. But when you water them, you want to make sure that the soil is a little wet, but you don't want to actually water the soil. You want to make sure that you get water down in the cup. So I like to keep these handy greenhouse boxes because they're great for doing things like this, and I don't get dirt all over the floor, which I end up doing anyway. But we're going to take this guy out, and actually He's in a nursery pot inside of a pot with no drainage, so that'll also work. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to loosen some of this dirt up a little bit, which may not actually work. He's pretty dry, so I'm not sure how long this guy went without proper plant care. He belonged to a friend of mine who...
Your mommy.
Hold on, Leah. He belonged to a friend of mine, and she had some things go on, and he was left with someone who probably didn't take very good care of him. So I think my next step for this is just going to be to kind of water bath him. My kid's feet in the video. Yeah, I think my next step is going to be to just kind of let him as he is. His roots are pretty tightly wound together, as you can see. Not as bad as Seymour. Seymour was really bad. I wish I would have done a video of that. But we're just going to kind of give him a water bath and let him hang out in his existing pot for now. I can't really break up his roots too much, so I don't want to hurt them, especially with there being new growth on here. So we'll let him kind of hang out.
Mommy,
yes.
Can you try to get this stick off of me?
We can get that off in a minute, okay?
Okay.
So we have something sticky on our knee, probably the lollipop that she was eating.
Candy cane, but it tastes like
candy cane. Candy cane, but it tastes like a lollipop. So we're gonna move on to the aloe. The aloe is in really good condition considering, but aloes kind of thrive on neglect. I have one in the corner of my window that I literally have to move everything to get to, and it gets watered maybe once a month, and it's still doing really well. So these guys are nice and plump and squishy like they're supposed to, and there's some new growth kind of down in here, so that's a good sign. Again, though, he is very dry, but I am going to break off some of the dry dirt. There seems to be a lot around him, and not a lot of roots, so we'll see what we can do. I obviously don't want to damage the integrity of the roots, but aloe plants, or at least this one, doesn't seem to have very many roots. I'm not overly concerned because it is doing pretty well and it is very healthy looking, but I do want to get it some fresh dirt, so we're gonna do that. I also might put some rooting hormone on this guy just because he did have some neglect. I'm definitely going to use a little bit of fertilizer. The potting soil I use is just a generic mix from Glicks over in Ole. It's actually their house soil. But put enough soil into the pot, and then I just kind of dig a little hole, pop him down in there, and then we're just going to fill it in and make sure that he's nice and tight in there, just because he does have a very weak root structure. I don't want him to be able to kind of move around or fall over or anything like that, so I'll just kind of pack some dirt in around him, use that to hold him up. I do have some garden stakes that I can use if he starts to lean too much or anything like that, but I think just with some fresh soil and patting it down around him nice and tight, he'll be alright. Love how the whole time I'm doing this, my kid's still kicking her feet in the video, just because she knows she can. So I got him back in there, and You can kind of see what I did there. I made sure that it came up to like the bottom of the plant. This way it has a little more stability. And this guy, we're just gonna water bath. So what I'll end up doing is filling up his non-drainage pot with some water. Just kind of letting him soak in there for a few minutes, probably about 10-15 minutes. Taking him out and seeing what he does from there. So that's pretty much my toddler brushing my hair with her foot. If anything, at least these videos will be entertaining and hopefully informative. If you have any questions about anything that I did today or anything with the plants that I'm focusing on right now, please feel free to send me a message, follow my page, ask on there, whatever. Hope you enjoyed it.